Welcome to the Business Review, a daily program that delves into the latest economic stories in the financial market around the world. From currency affairs to technology stories, we bring you the best from around the world.
The European Commission repeated on May 6 that European Union law and courts had primacy over national ones after a German court ruling and stressed the European Central Bank was independent. European Commissioner for Economic and Financial Affairs Paolo Gentiloni said the rulings of the European Court of Justice were binding on all national courts and added the EU Commission would fully support the independence of the ECB in its implementation of monetary policy. Speaking at a news conference, Gentiloni said Germany was set to experience its deepest recession since the Second World War because of the coronavirus pandemic. Germany's Constitutional Court ruled that the Bundesbank must stop buying government bonds under the ECB's long-running stimulus scheme within 3 months unless the ECB can prove the purchases are needed. The German ruling came despite the EU's top court ruling in 2018 that the ECB bond buying program was in line with European Union law.
French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire said that France should expect to face risks of companies going bankrupt and job cuts as the country readies to ease the virus lockdown measures next week. Speaking at an online event organized by jobs website LinkedIn, Le Maire said an uncertain resuming of operations could hamper companies' return to normal as France is slated to put in place the deconfinement plan from May the 11th. Le Maire singled out restaurants, the tourism and cultural industry and other businesses that will remain closed after May the 11th, saying they should be the priority beneficiaries of the nation's general partial unemployment scheme. Le Maire also reiterated the importance of a European tax on digital businesses, saying the virus had made such levies more pertinent than ever. Nearly 140 countries are negotiating the first major rewriting of international tax rules in more than a generation to take better account of the rise of big tech companies that often book profit in low-tax countries. However, the fallout from the virus has left finance ministries more focused on saving their economies than overhauling outdated tax rules, making a deadline of the end of the year to wrap up the talks look increasingly stretched. Le Maire said before the crisis, if the talks organized by the Paris-based Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development fail, then the European Union should create its own digital tax.
East China's Shanghai city has seen a fresh round of intended settlement of regional headquarters and research and development centers by multinationals, with the signing of agreements of intent their own by 18 more multinational companies at a conference on April 29th. The multinationals that signed the agreements of intent on establishing their regional headquarters or research and development centers in Shanghai included Tokyo Electron Limited, a leader in semiconductor manufacturing equipment, and Novistern, an automated plastic parts manufacturer. Volvo Construction Equipment will also formally move its Asian headquarters from Singapore to Shanghai this year, making it one of the company's 3 global headquarters. Last year, thanks to the system innovation in the pilot free trade zone, Volvo Construction Equipment China Company Limited concluded the first deal of domestic offshore trade settlement, promoting the first trial of offshore trade in Pudong, a district in Shanghai. Continuous improvement in the city's businesses environment is an important factor in attracting regional headquarters of multinationals. The approval of the regulations of Shanghai Municipality on optimizing the business environment on April 10th has given a greater confidence to foreign investors. US-based medical equipment company Cook Medical announced in late April to set up its China Operations Center in Shanghai, Hongqiao Central Business District, with a total investment of about 480 million yuan. In February, the municipal government, together with the country's 4 major financial authorities, issued a guideline consisting of 30 measures to further build the metropolis into an international financial center and boost integrated development of the Yangtze River Delta in East China. As one of the country's first foreign-controlled joint venture securities firms, JP Morgan Securities China Company Limited held an online opening ceremony in the city in March. Mark Liang, CEO of China at JP Morgan, said the company has grasped the opportunity of China's opening up. The trend of long-term foreign capital coming into China's capital markets will not change. Thus, they have increased their investment quota. The Municipal Commission of Commerce has also been contributing its part to reducing the coronavirus impact on business operation over the past months. The Commission has visited 720 regional headquarters of multinational companies and held 9 rounds of meetings with overseas businesses to resolve their concerns. It has also released 24 new policies to bolster the stability of foreign investment, including stepping up investment promotion, accelerating opening of the finance and new energy vehicle sectors, and imposing heavier penalties on those who have significantly infringed upon foreign companies' intellectual property rights.
Swiss environmentalists said the government's coronavirus aid package should be used to make the country's economy more sustainable and help tackle climate change. Campaigners delivered a petition to the extraordinary session of the Swiss parliament calling for it to use 62 billion Swiss franc economy emergency aid in an environmentally friendly way. More than 22,000 people signed the petition, demanding support for companies in sectors with large greenhouse gas emissions like aviation, and they should be tied to reducing the environmental impact. George Klingler, Greenpeace Switzerland climate expert, said the government must promote measures to eliminate the use of fossil fuels and promote renewable energy. Meanwhile, campaigner Zoe Roth from Bâle said that the COVID-19 crisis gave an opportunity to change thinking. She said, during the crisis, we saw how vulnerable the world is, how vulnerable society is, stressing that we need to take the crisis as a chance to build a more just and sustainable future. Due to measures put in place to fight the virus, demonstrations in Switzerland are forbidden, and Greenpeace militants were immediately asked by police officers to leave. The Swiss Parliament met earlier at the Bern Expo Exhibition Center in Bern in place of its regular venue, so lawmakers can maintain social distancing rules. Climate change campaigners took part in an online demonstration on May the 3rd with speeches and performances from an interactive video conference projected onto the front of the Parliament building.
Hong Kong's international airport is deploying cleaning robots and is testing out a disinfection booth for staff as the city lifts social distancing restrictions and authorities prepare for an expected jump in traffic in June. One robot being used in the public toilets emits ultraviolet rays and sprays disinfectant. He was first used on chartered flights that brought residents back to Hong Kong as the coronavirus spread in other countries. About 10 robots are being used in total in the airport, including a couple that clean floors. The booth being tested out on staff sprays disinfectant for 40 seconds and uses facial recognition technology. Stephen Yi, a deputy director with the airport authority, said he expects travel to pick up in June, with a 14-day mandatory quarantine measure for people coming from the mainland and Taiwan is set to expire. The global aviation industry has been hit hard as global travel has been restricted. The airport's latest statistics show that 5,550 passenger flights arrived in Hong Kong in March, a drop in 82.1% compared with the same month last year. Yi said the airport has learned from procedures developed in the wake of that SARS outbreak in 2003. Hong Kong, which had a total of 1,045 confirmed cases of COVID-19, has had 0 local infections in more than 2 weeks, prompting restrictions to be relaxed. Game centers, gyms and cinemas were allowed to reopen as of May 8th.
This has been the Business Review, your daily dose of economy and technology stories around the globe. Tune in next time for more up-to-date developments in the financial market. This is Farah Al Hashim reporting from Paris for KTV2 for the program The Business Review.